Why did the kingdom of Israel split? God made a covenant with his people, intending for them to dwell together in harmony and affection. Despite God's unwavering faithfulness to his pledges, the people proved unfaithful, leading to repercussions due to the breach of agreement. The kingdom of Israel. The journey to the promised land for the Israelites commenced when Moses led them out of slavery in Egypt. God envisioned Israel as a holy nation, demonstrating his love and greatness to other nations. To foster harmony among people, God instituted a sacred agreement known as the Ten Commandments. Just like the essential fidelity in a marriage, faithfulness was deemed crucial within this covenant. The initial two directives established the parameters for the relationship. You shall have no other gods before me, and you shall make no idols. Found in Exodus chapter 20, verse 1 to 3. Living harmoniously under the divine guidance of God ensures the attainment of life's finest blessings. During their journey, God performed miracles by providing sustenance, water gushing from rocks, and shielding the people from adversaries. However, despite these extraordinary events, the people quickly turned to rebellion. While Moses was receiving the commandments from God on the mountain, the people crafted a golden calf, declaring, "These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt." Found in Exodus chapter 32, verse 4. Even though God generously provided opportunities for faithfulness, many perished due to their rebellion. This trend persisted throughout the 40 years in the wilderness and into the conquest of the Promised Land. Upon reaching the Promised Land, the people desired to emulate neighboring nations by appointing their own earthly ruler, thereby turning away from God. Found in 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 20. God instructed Samuel, the prophet of Israel, to grant their request, found in 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 21. God selected Saul as the inaugural king. However, like the general populace, he faltered in following God's commands. Consequently, God deposed him and appointed David, described as a man after God's own heart, who demonstrated deep devotion to God and promptly repented when he erred. David brought together the kingdom and, in reverence to God, desired to erect a temple in Jerusalem. However, God decreed that it would be David's second son, Solomon, who would undertake the construction of the temple. But behold, you shall have a son who shall embody peace and tranquility, and I shall bestow upon him respite from all adversities surrounding him. Solomon shall be his name, and under his rule, Israel shall experience an era of peace and serenity. He shall be the one to erect a dwelling for my name. As my son, I shall be his father, and his reign shall witness the enduring establishment of his kingdom over Israel for all time. Found in 1 Chronicles, chapter 22, verse 9 to 10. In the beginning of his reign, Solomon humbly requested divine wisdom to govern his people. This pleased the Lord. Furthermore, I will bestow upon you riches and prestige beyond what you have requested, ensuring that during your reign you will surpass all other kings in wealth and honor. Should you remain obedient to me, following the statutes and directives as faithfully as your father David did, I will grant you a lengthy and prosperous life. Paraphrased from 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 13 to 14. Solomon received all the promises God had made to him, as it's written. God granted Solomon wisdom and exceedingly great discernment, along with breadth of understanding as vast as the sands of the seashore. Found in 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 29 to 34. During the 4th year of Solomon's rule, which marked Israel's golden era, he built the splendid temple as a tribute to God. 7 years after, during the temple dedication, Solomon addressed the congregation, urging them, "May your hearts remain devoted to the Lord our God, following his laws and keeping his commands, just as you are doing today." Found in 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 61. God found delight in Solomon's reign and honored his commitment by granting peace, prosperity, honor, and wealth throughout Solomon's 40-year rule. In his later years, the wise King Solomon, however, allowed his emotions to stray. He disregarded the wisdom he had once written. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Found in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, the split. Solomon constructed prominent sites to house the idols of his 300 wives and 700 concubines. These locations of idol worship involved the abominable ritual of child sacrifice. As stated in Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 31, they engage in all sorts of abhorrent practices that the Lord detests. They even sacrifice their sons and daughters in the fire to their gods. The Lord spoke to Solomon, expressing displeasure at his attitude and failure to uphold the covenant and decrees. Consequently, the kingdom would be taken from him and given to someone under his rule. However, out of respect for Solomon's father David, this would not happen during Solomon's lifetime. Instead, it would occur during his son's reign, found in 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 11 to 12. The kingdom became divided into the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah due to their abandonment of God and violation of the covenant, thus forfeiting God's care and protection, found in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 19 to 22. Solomon's revolt sparked the downfall of the nation, leading to the eventual destruction of the temple. Key structures lay in ruins as fires consumed them, leaving the city devastated, found in 2 Kings chapter 25, verse 9. Following Solomon's reign, a succession of defiant kings led the nation, culminating in the Babylonian exile of Israel for 70 years. What can we learn from this story? God is a benevolent and affectionate deity who desires to shower plentiful blessings upon his followers. Our responsibility lies in expressing our love for him and abiding by the principles outlined in the covenant, which are enshrined in the sacred scriptures. By adhering to these principles, we invite God's favor to grace our families, our land, and our governance. Conversely, neglecting these principles allows evil to gain prominence. As a nation, we have strayed from God's path, reminiscent of Solomon's drift. Consequently, we find ourselves engulfed in chaos. Our country, as articulated in the phrase, "one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all," was established on the principles of divine law. Throughout its history, America has experienced abundant blessings bestowed by a higher power. John Adams, the second President of the United States, expressed the sentiment that effective governance would be unattainable without the guidance of God and the principles outlined in the Bible. Harry Truman, the 33rd President, recognized the importance of adhering to divine laws. He stated, "The foundational principles of our nation's laws were imparted to Moses on the Mount. Without a sound moral foundation, we risk descending into a totalitarian regime that disregards individual rights in favor of state control." According to American historian David Barton, he asserts that God's jealousy stems from the understanding that there exists only one deity whom humanity can worship while maintaining freedom. Barton suggests that any other entities not truly divine would inevitably aim to impose bondage and dominance over individuals, sourced from the founder's Bible note. These words were spoken by God to Solomon following the dedication of the temple, and they continue to hold relevance even in modern times. "If those identified with my name will humble themselves, pray, seek my presence, and turn from their wrongdoings, I will listen from above, forgive their transgressions, and restore their land." Found in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14.